Alright, sorry I haven't been videoing much today, but I'm working on getting the rear suspension out. And I wanted to give everybody a tip to get the subframe bushings out. You want to make sure to take off the backing plate, which is this dude right here, and then thread the nut back on just like that. And the reason you want to do that is when you pop inside the car, there's actually this little access hole right here, and it's usually filled with seam sealer, I think. But what you can do is, when you get it out, let's see if I can point at it on the other side. When you get it out, there should be just enough space for you to hit the stud out from the nut on the bottom. And then hammer out this bitch. Now I can sort of take the nut off. Alright, that's about good, right? Now I take the nut the rest of the way off. So now we've got just a couple of threads sticking out in there, and that works. Alright, it's hard to see, but now you can watch. And the stud comes right out from the top. Now, my suggested way of getting the subframe out Hey, that one came out all right. All right, now here's a common problem. The plate seems to be stuck in there. And now we've got this bit of subframe bushing lodged inside the car. Okay, so when you do this, first thing to do is to drill a bunch of holes around the bushing. Alright, now I'm going to take a stepper bit and kind of try to even this out. And the hope here is to be able to thread this in well enough I can bang it out from the top like your mom last night. Alright, now I'm going to take the stud, put it back in on the top, and then try to bang it as hard as I can. Nope. Okay, so this is where we left off. Unfortunately, that's not gonna work. And it's kind of rounded out too much inside now. So I'm gonna have to do plan B, which is essentially drill on either side until I get through all the material and I can pull it out in two big pieces. So that'll be fun. Alright, so I've drilled a couple hole sizes larger. I can start seeing the metal. So I'm hoping to be able to take a screwdriver or a pry bar and just kind of like break these pieces out at this point. Oh! That worked. Alright. Here's one side. Hey, there you go. Alright, so you can see I did a little bit of damage to the chassis, a couple little holes inside of it. I'm gonna do some cleanup in it. There's some leftover gunk, like this little bit, some leftover bit of the bushing. Clean that out, and I mean, also, all things considered, that's not gonna do any harm. It's not like the best way to do it, but screw it. Gotta do what you gotta do. Alright, now I got the subframe out. Now the question is, how do we get the bushings out? There is the good old-fashioned just burn the crap out of them, but I kinda am not too fond of that. It puts a bunch of burnt rubber inside the casing, which makes it much harder to press a new bearing. So the factory gives you these two little divots right here, and I'm going to take some square iron and kind of set up essentially a 2-jaw puller, and hopefully that'll pull the whole thing out. We'll see. Alright, so here's the parts. I've made one center section with the hole in the middle, so that'll thread through the subframe. And we've got 2 legs to make our jaw puller. So it's going to go like that. This way, when the pressure of trying to pull the bushing out pulls down, it's going to go against the main piece as opposed to on the sides where the welds could potentially fail, because I'm not all that great at welding and stuff like that. Anywho, the key here is to make sure that there is enough space that the entire bushing can fit in before you run out of space. Anyway, let's get welded. Okay, so here's the finished product. The key here is that these 2 little nubs just barely fit between the space the subframe bushing allows for. And then I'm going to do the same thing I did with the tie rod spacers, where there's a threaded rod through the middle, and then tighten the 2 together using some washers as some makeshift bearings to help give it a little bit more. And hopefully I can pull this out. Hopefully. Well, that wasn't an ideal situation, but it's not too bad of an outcome. All right. Okay, so I managed to not hit most of it. It's a little bit of a nick right there, but hey, that's pretty good. Didn't completely cut through it. The trick is to cut just well enough that you can get past these little dowel pieces right here. So if you can get past that and then kind of scrunch in a little bit, it comes out a lot easier. So if anybody wants to know, that's how to do it without any special tools, apparently.